Damn, I like the way I look right now. Like, I just like the way I look right now. It feels good. You know, it's nice to like the way you look. It's real good. This video is going to be about how you're all being fleeced. I'm just going to talk about it a bit because it's really bad. Like, I actually think we're at war. Really, like, we're at war. What do you mean we're at war? Well, business is abstract warfare. Like, the ultimate reason why people go to war is because it's more profitable to go to war than to go do business. But Britain was really a trade empire. Britain had the East India Trading Company, and the East India Trading Company had more soldiers at its height than the British Empire. So Britain comes in, buy all the land and food in Ireland, make it illegal for the Irish people, or basically unaffordable for them to eat food. That's what the potato famine was. It wasn't really a potato famine. It was just illegal or impossible for the Irish to afford anything besides potatoes. And if they tried to steal it, they would be shipped off to Botany Bay to be slaves. So you're like, oh God, I mean, I hope that doesn't happen in the US. I hope no one comes into the United States and just buys all the land and all the food and makes it impossible for anyone to be able to afford to eat anything but soy. So first of all, steak has doubled in price in the last 5 years, if you haven't noticed. Just look at this handy dandy graph we got. This is the consumer price index. Look at that. Like, would you just look at it? Isn't that beautiful? So this right here is when fiat currency was invented. This is when silver stopped being money. All over here, silver and gold are money, and then it's not. So basically, you're a slave. You're working for paper. Paper they can print out of thin air. You're working for mining co-dollars. You're working for, it's like, you're working for monopoly money. I mean, really, like, I love this coin. I carry this coin around because it's from 1972, which is the last year they made silver coins. And what else am I going to pay the ferryman with? Like, what am I going to pay Karen with when I die and I go to the afterlife? I got to get across to the Isles of the Blessed. What am I going to pay him with? If not silver, because again, this is what happens to prices when there's no silver as money. You can think of this as a graph of how hard it was to be alive. Pretty easy for most of U.S. history until 1973 when we started being fleeced like crazy. You're being enslaved right now. The house your grandparents owned is going to be owned by BlackRock. The house your parents own is going to be owned by BlackRock. You're not going to own a house. You're going to live in a pod and eat your bug gruel like a good little slave. And if you live in Europe, you're not going to voice your opinion because slaves should be seen and not heard. Of course, I am a heretic against the religion of slavery, so I should be stoned. I'm going to work on that right now. I'm going to get stoned because I'm a heretic. But really, though, like, you're just being fleeced, guys. You're being fleeced. It is quite bad. It's quite bad what's happening. And the first step is to be aware of it. The second step is to buy silver and guns. You want to own real silver, like the one I just showed you. You got to own the coin in your hand. If you don't own it, it's not real. Like, paper silver is just another form of make-believium. Paper silver is another form of make-believium. Bitcoin is another form of make-believium. Everyone's like, Bitcoin's a currency. Well, a currency is supposed to be a store of value, or money is supposed to be a store of value, which, as we can see by this handy-dandy chart, your money isn't money. It's not a store of value. It's paper. You need to recognize that. People with attention spans. I mean, I'm just going to take it. If you're still watching this video, you want to not be a slave. Actually, I was thinking I should make my videos for my future offspring, just make all my content for my future offspring to, like, educate them on how to not be slaves. Because making content for contemporary people, I mean, it's contemporary. Like, and I'm glad I made so many videos because now I have a perspective on all of this. I actually do have to get myself stoned so I can be a stoned heretic. But basically, I want to make content for my offspring. Like, I want to like write books for my offspring on like how to stay healthy, like how to organize your family structure so that you can keep generational wealth going. This is the sort of stuff I want to leave for my offspring. So I'm just going to, and even this is documenting the things I'm leaving to my offspring. Like I want them to understand what it is I'm doing. Like right now, I am about to engage in the manufacture. I'm away somewhere to make the supplements. And it's quite nice. It's quite nice, honestly, being in the position where I can make these supplements and then sell them. But it's not really about the supplements. It's really about the idea. It's about recognizing, like me talking to my future offspring now. So back when COVID hit, oh, here's a fun fact. So 80%, so even this chart's not even updated yet. Because, okay, this is the funniest part. So this chart simply represents the inflation that has happened before COVID. But since COVID, they've printed 4 times more money than has existed in that graph. It's going to get 4 times worse like that. So second COVID started happening, I recognized it as a communist coup. I was like, okay, obviously this is like a communist coup. They're taking over. They're trying to force us all to stay inside so that we can't communicate. They want to like control the narrative. They want to push mass vaccines. I didn't really know that yet, but I knew it was bad. I was like, this is bad. I made Weak to Warrior Kettlebell Club to try to like make people stronger so they feel more confident to resist the government, because I saw government tyranny. I mean, it's not even individual actors within the government. I more see humans as systems. Like, I'm an emergent property of my family. Communists are emergent properties of the despotism that has governed the human race since the dawn of time. So I don't think you actually need to have an explicitly communist coup for it to be a communist coup. I think anytime you give power to the government, it either immediately or within one cycle becomes corrupted, basically, because the despots will just seek out that power and then collect it. I mean, I really have no interest in gaining power over other people by force. That's why I'm selling supplements. But those who have interest in gaining power over people by force go to work in government, and they're pretty freaking good at gaining power over people by force. So that is basically what the name of the game is you create a system of power. Those who seek power will infiltrate the system. So, yeah. So basically, I saw that happening at the beginning of COVID. And also, I do think that ultimately, I mean, I'm happy. I haven't smoked weed all day. Like, my weed addiction is just coming to an end as my mental health improves. But I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of following like an easy way method of quitting where I'm not really trying to force myself to. I'm more letting myself naturally realize that I don't want to be stoned because it's a deficit of brain function. But there's a small period of time where your brain function goes like, woo. So future offspring watching this, I actually think that, like, I mean, if you're gonna do drugs, I don't recommend drinking. Probably vaping from like a Mighty 2 vape, a combination of CBD flower and THC flower while meditating would be best. I mean, I'm definitely going to evolve my understanding of cantors as things go on. I love this is a Jewish proverb. It's one is an expert on shoes, the other an expert on carpentry, all are an expert in cantors, which is basically just drinking. It's like everyone's got a vice. Like everyone's got some sort of vice. This is my public vice, you know. I like to consume the rosin of cannabis to make my brain work funny. Or at least that's what I'm choosing to do right now. I mean, most of the time I was just not sleeping or feeling like shit because of brain dysfunction from autoimmunity. So you can just go watch my other videos, like see the clarity in my eyes. You can see the clarity in my eyes coming right back. I love that about YouTube. I'm not making any of this shit up. You can just go look. Go scroll through my videos. Go look at how I've changed over the last year because of taking ownership of my health. I had no other choice. I was dying. This is a dying man. Now I'm not a dying man. Now I'm a very powerful man. mental strength. It's nice. But I use this to recognize that I'm being enslaved, and then I want to tell people they're being enslaved so they can stop being enslaved, because I don't know, first they came for the idiots, and I said nothing, for I was not an idiot. But I'm saying something because I am an idiot like all of you. I'm just an aware idiot, I guess. I don't know. I mean, idiot in the sense of going one's own way. I mean, I like to go my own way. I like to not have to go through tons of government documents and everything to figure out exactly how I'm being fleeced. But that's what's going on. We're being fleeced by the creation of fiat currency and the implementation of fiat currency. I mean, literally, you're not going to be able to buy a house, you're not going to be able to buy food, you're going to be stuck in a pod, eating insect gruel, getting more and more in debt to the mining co. every single day. That is going to be your existence, and it is going to stink. I mean, unless you do something about it, it's hard to do stuff about it. Like, I have had to, so I'm going to just talk, like, I had to health coach, and I had to, like, work my face off to build up in my own family the belief that I was a good business owner who was going to lead them to the promised land. And they're finally like believing that I'm a good business owner who's going to lead them to the promised land. Like right now, as like I make supplements, I'm staying in my grandmother's townhome that she trusts my brother and I to stay in, because she's just like, yep, they're responsible adults. They can just stay in my townhome when they go make supplements. And it's like, nice. So now we can be closer to where we're making the supplements. That's nice. You don't have to pay for that. My brother's working with me. He brings tons of genius and expertise to the table, which enables me to work business faster. My family is now more on board. They're like, yeah, man, like, we'll totally help you with all this stuff. It's like, it's great. And that's enabling me to continue to do this. And ultimately, you need to do the same thing. Like, you got to go work your face off so hard that it convinces your family that you're not a loser. I think the public school system is actually designed to convince your family that you're a loser. It's like, oh my God, we didn't get good grades in school. So why would I fund his business idea? Or why would I even help him with it? Why would I even encourage him? He didn't get good grades in school. His slave masters told me he should be a slave. Well, they're a little biased because they're slave masters. So I just like how sharp I am right now. I'm like, am I really going to smoke weed? It's going to make me less sharp, but I'm going to recognize that, and it's going to make me want to smoke weed less. It's great, because frankly, I don't want to be stoned all the time. I used to look down on stoners, but I became more enlightened and became a stoner, and then hopefully I'm going to stop being a stoner, but like, I don't know, autoimmunity, brain dysfunction, like, I feel good now, and I'm very happy about that. And also, I realized, if you watched my previous video, Adderall causes tooth demineralization, so I do not want to have my teeth demineralized, because they're starting to demineralize. Probably from the health issues I've had this year. Go watch my videos. I was like dying, like horribly dying. So I'm chewing on eggshells right now. I got a little bit of eggshell. You can see that. My teeth actually feel better chewing on eggshells. So chewing on eggshells. I will stop taking Adderall. I mean, if I end up getting like insomnia from not taking Adderall, which has happened to me before, I'll take like 10 milligrams just to knock myself out. But basically, I've created for myself this waking dream of this company I'm working for now. The company I own. Like, it's great. I've created for myself a waking dream where I can just share my crazy thoughts. Like now, my thoughts are not a hindrance to what I'm doing. They're actually the source of what I'm doing, which is great. It's like the opposite of slavery. And I've meditated like almost every single day for the past 2 years. And well, the whole reason I wanted to get an Adderall in the first place is so I could actually establish a meditation practice, because my brain was just so fried from probably just autoimmunity I've been suffering from my whole life. I mean, energy drinks definitely made it worse, but I've really been trying to get my brain to focus like my whole life, and I feel like now is the first time my brain really does the brain thing without, if you know, you know, it's Adderall, without Adderall. So I haven't taken it today, and I feel good. And I'm just going to continue not taking it. I've gone off it multiple times, but it hasn't been as helpful because it actually does a lot for my brain. But I'm at a point where I don't need it anymore, baby. It feels good. It feels real good not to need it. Because now my superpowers are unlocked. I can just explode my mind to every corner of the cosmos at once, unifying east and west, north and south, heaven and earth within my personage. Ain't that something? So, I'm a heretic, and I'm going to get stoned for it. but we'll see. This is also like a quality cartridge vape I got. It's a high quality cartridge. Live Rusin. And it's a high quality vape too. They paid like $40 for this vaporizer. The reason I paid that, it actually vaporizes the stuff well, it doesn't just burn it. So it's actually not a miserable experience vaping. And this is the thing, I used to just smoke. I used to smoke joints. And I just smoke it. I go get a joint every day and I'd smoke the joint. It was very unproductive. This was years ago when I was deep in brain dysfunction and just like starting to raise kids, starting to try to raise a family, starting a health coach and stuff. I ultimately didn't realize how badly my brain was working because my brain's kind of always worked badly, like my whole life. Like I remember being like 12 years old and like there were Eagle Scout projects going on at like the middle school. And like I was like, I remember like working on them. I was just being like so tired physically while I was working. Like I just kept on wanting to sit down. I was like, why do I keep wanting to sit down? It was like that fatigue actually when I was 12 precipitated into the insomnia when I was 13. So yeah, they're interrelated. It sucks because like I just didn't feel good like my whole life. But I don't want to say I had a bad childhood though. I had an amazing childhood because like what is a childhood? Like childhood is coming into the world and like I still have parents who love me and like want to give me good experiences. And I have like got a brother and a sister, cousins, went hiking. Like I had a great childhood. And, I just encourage anyone who escaped childhood without being like tortured to death to like just having had a great childhood. Like why look at the negative of your childhood? Why look at the negative of your childhood? Really? Why? Like, oh, I had no energy and then I had insomnia. Like, I got to experience how much my family loves me because, like, they take care of me and, like, I had to go to public school and everything. I had to experience my family sticking up for me at public school. Your family's don't stick up for you, but, like, I don't know, maybe you're just angsty. You have to have a classic angsty childhood. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. You have to experience real American angst. Just think about those kids in Pakistan selling their organs to the owner of their slave brick kiln. It's not the way. God, my teeth have already... I always felt plaque being deposited on the back of my front bottom teeth. Right here. And no more plaque. It's like smooth now. It's like chewing on these eggshells is like done it for me. Hopefully, when I go get my cavity filled, like whenever I do that, way out there, they're like, oh, your cavity's already filled up. Or it's already remineralized or something. I mean, and brushing, like I'm not brushing anymore. Like these cavities, this is the most religiously I've ever brushed my teeth in my entire life. Like when I was like 8, I brushed my teeth like twice a year sometimes. I mean, I'd take a wet face cloth and I'd like kind of like polish them. But I'm just going to go back to that. Like I'm using expensive toothpaste and everything. I think this stuff's like, I've researched this. I was researching this and they're like, oh yeah, the toothpaste is bad for your teeth, brushing it off. I don't think they know what the heck is going on with oral health. I actually think that our brains okay, so tooth has a root, tooth has surface, you have saliva. I think that our mouth, between our mouth and the root of the tooth, forms sort of a battery-like thing, and basically minerals, if you know how a battery works, you can end up with, I haven't reviewed this since sophomore, junior chemistry, though I am quite versed in organic chemistry. It's just not something I use in organic chemistry. I don't know if it's the anode or the cathode, but when you run an electrical mixture, you end up with deposits on the anode or the cathode. I think that's how our teeth work. I think it's like electrical signals in the body reach our teeth, and then they're in an electrolyte solution, and that pulls the minerals from your saliva into your teeth. So I'm gonna make sure those minerals are there. But like I actually do feel like this is helping my teeth because I felt like my teeth were like not a vibe. And I value my teeth. Like it's like my dad said, like these are the only ones you're gonna get. So this is also to like my offspring, like chew some eggshells. I have my dad do that too. I don't have like a ton more to say about the fiat currency thing. It's just like you're being enslaved. If you don't do anything about it, your children will wake up slaves, unable to leave their 15-minute city. It won't be illegal strictly. It'll just be really expensive to take the hyper shuttle, and there won't be any roads, and cars are for rich assholes, and they have to work 60 hours a week, and they're not allowed to eat any meat, and like I'll ban problematic books. They'll be gone. I mean, it's not that they'll be gone. You just won't know about them, and you won't be able to search them on your phone because your brain won't work, and you'll just be distracted constantly because your brain won't work. So you'll feel miserable mentally. You won't want to think because you'll be miserable. So you'll distract yourself with drugs, alcohol, and entertainment, and you won't notice all the books. You won't notice all the information that will help you. You won't be able to. You will have been educated since birth to see that as a threat. Just like people already see me as a threat, and Joe Rogan as a threat. Joe Rogan's a threat to democracy. What do you think that is? They've indoctrinated the slaves well. They have. They already see a bird raised in a cage thinks flying is a disease. See what they're doing? Do you see? It's not even they. Like, who's they? Who's they, man? Who's they? Doesn't matter who they are. What matters is their plan. What's their plan? There's no evidence of a plan. We live in America. America was founded as a free country. America's the land of the free and the home of the brave. Well, right now, the brave aren't doing anything about it, and that's not going to make them very free. So, what are you going to do about it? Let me know in the comments.